Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. I'm your host. I'm riding solo right now, waiting for Mike to finally join us. He got caught up on a call, so he's going to be joining us here shortly. We're also going to be joined by the one and only Jeff Garcia. Is going to be talking to us around 10:15. He's going to be joining us talking about all things San Antonio Spurs basketball. What's up, Cabrones? That's what Christopher Leja's saying right now. Sam Salinas, good morning. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you, man. And right on time, we got Mr. Jimenez.
What's going on, my man? Good morning from the Jimenez household.
There you go. I'm just saying good morning to Sean Quintero, Sam Salinas, Christopher Leja. He says, what's the over-under? Mike is going to be 3.5 minutes.
Hey, man, I apologize. Typically, I want to run over to Joe's house and do the show over there, but I got stuck on a bunch of work calls today, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get out. And by the time I got everything resolved, I was already texting Joe at 9:52 going, no way I can go to your house. We'll do it from home. So I apologize for that. But let's talk sports. Let's talk pop culture. Let's have fun, baby. Let's have fun.
Tex-Mex Frank says, "Que paso, gentlemen? Que paso?" JHNSB's in the house too. Good to see all the regulars joining us here on a nice, beautiful Wednesday morning. It's good to see Alamo City, and I'm broadcasting from the beautiful west side of San Antonio, and Mike is just up the road from me.
West Bear County, baby. West Bear County.
So let's go ahead and get into it, Mike. What do you want to talk about? We have a lot because Jeff's going to be joining us around 10:15 or so. We had the NBA in-season tourney get started yesterday. We had some games. Unfortunately, Mike, the Celtics didn't come through for us, man. What happened?
Dude, I got DM'd yesterday about it. People were reaching out to me on Twitter and also on text messages as well from friends saying that I completely jinxed the Hawks. How did the Hawks beat the Celtics, who more than likely will win the NBA title again? How did they beat them without Trae Young, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Hunter, and two other players? I don't know, but somehow they went crazy. One of the things I want to talk about, Joe, is the disrespect of Stephon Castle from the national media already.
Man.
So today is the Kia update on NBA.com, right? So what they do on NBA.com, Joe, is they rank who they think is going to win like all the various awards, right? And every week that goes by, they give a ranking, right? So it's like, here's who we think is the leading the pack right now when it comes to most valuable player or defensive player of the year, whatever the case may be, right? I was looking this morning. Last week, the NBA.com unveiled their rankings of the rookies, right? Where do you think our guy is ranked, Joe? On the top 10 list of rookies, according to NBA.com. This was as of last week. Now, since then, he got inserted into the lineup when Sohan got hurt. Stephon Castle has started a couple of the games. So today they're going to reveal the updated rankings, right? But I was looking at what they were last week, Joe. Where in the top 10 do you think Stephon Castle was, Joe?
I'd say probably 15 or so.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the top 10.
Yeah.
Didn't even make the top 10. So let's hope that gets corrected and that Stephon Castle is considered to be one of the best rookies right now in the NBA, because I'm looking at the rankings that they had. They had Zach Edey at number 1 at the time. Zach Edey, who we joked was not good enough for the NBA. A lot of people said that he wasn't going to translate when he went from Purdue into the NBA, but he's averaging about 10 points per game. And he was the number 1 guy as of right now. What's weird about it, though, is that according to the rookie ladder on NBA.com, Zach Edey from Memphis was number 1 as of last week. Number 2, they had Bub Carrington, who was the 14th pick in the draft. So Zach Edey was 9, Bub Carrington was 14. Number 3, they had Jalen Wells, a second-rounder, who also went to the Grizzlies. Ryan Dunn, who I did like in college out of Virginia. Pick number 28 was the 4th ranked rookie, and then Alexander Sarr, the number 2 overall pick, who the Spurs are going to get to see when they take on the Wizards tonight, was ranked number 5. Again, I'm looking at the top 10 list. No Stephon Castle. So again, this was revealed about a week ago, so the update should be today or tomorrow. I want to see if the national media starts giving our Stephon Castle some love.
The thing is, man, I think the Spurs just need to play a little bit more consistent in order to get him some shine. Unfortunately for Stephon Castle, the team hasn't played consistent because they've had a lot of problems with injuries and whatnot. Now there's a coaching change. It kind of affects what happens on court. But now that things are starting to come together a little bit with the return of Devin Vassell, I'm hopeful that Stephon Castle will make some noise here and he'll be in that rookie ranking, at least in the top 10. Because even his teammates were saying, hey, they don't agree with the ranking scale, and they kind of hope that Stephon Castle would be in there, probably vying for Rookie of the Year.
Yes, Sam Salinas is asking us on our YouTube stream, what about Dalton Connect of the Lakers? He better not be higher than Stephon Castle. And in fact, he is. Dalton Connect, as of last week, was ranked number 8 in NBA.com's Rookie of the Year ladder. But I think Castle will be in the top 10 this week. But he's got to be, because you take a look at all these other rookies. I've seen a lot of these rookies play. I've seen Dalton Connect play a regular season game.
Yeah.
I've seen Star play a game. We're going to see him again tonight. They don't look as NBA ready as Castle. They're getting higher stats because their usage rate is a lot higher. Castle's the better player. He's the better defender, better all-around player. And I'm not saying that simply because he's a Spur who wears silver and black, and I call him my son. But the fact of the matter is that you look at him and you think, oh, that's a good player who's going to be a good NBA player. I don't look at Zach Edey and think to myself that guy is going to be anything great. He is who he is, dude. He's going to be a 9. He is Zach Collins, dude. That's all that he is, man. He is Zach Collins. He's a taller Zach Collins. But again, Spurs back in action tonight, trying to get to 500, Joe. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Because the Spurs are 5-6, the exact same record as the Dallas Mavericks.
Who went to the NBA Finals.
Who went to the NBA Finals, who have, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, arguably two of the top 10 best players in the NBA, or two of the top 20 at least. We know Luka's in the top 5, and you can say that maybe Kyrie's in the top 20.
Man,
but
again last night, I don't know if you saw that game, but man, Steph Curry went off.
He did.
He went off on them, man. He showed that he is still him.
Yeah, and it was the return of Klay Thompson, which was interesting because Klay Thompson, seeing him play in a Dallas Mavericks jersey is a little bit odd, man. It really is. But we'll go through some NFL rankings today as well. But Joe, we have Jeff Garcia on from Locked On Spurs at KENS 5 today. What, in a couple of minutes or so?
Yeah,
10:30.
He texted me. He's running a little late right now. He's probably got some meetings at work, and
yeah,
going to join us here shortly. He'll let us know. He'll probably pop in, and he'll be announced by our lovely AI here when he joins us. So we'll bring him on.
Yeah, taking a look at last night's game between the Warriors and the Mavericks. Warriors won 120-117. Golden State, Steph Curry, 37 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds. Had that big 3 to win the game as well. That's a brutal ending for that game for the Mavericks, who had 31 from Luka and 21 from Kyrie Irving. Klay Thompson, in his return, 22 points, 6 of 12 from 3. So that he can still light it up from time to time. Maybe not consistently, but from time to time, he can make it happen. I like that phrase that Sam is bringing on, talking about the Spurs. It's called a winning streak. It has happened before.
I like this other comment, too, from Chris Gonzalez. Edey is just an updated George Marshall. Remember that old commercial he did a long time ago?
Yeah.
It was like a spoof. It was with him and Billy Crystal, and they gave him like a vial of cologne, and it was like huge in Billy Crystal's hands, and he picked it up, and it was like this small.
Joe, let me ask you this, Joe. The Spurs are favored to win tonight at the Frost Bank Center against the 2-7 Washington Wizards. How much are the Spurs favored by? Because this is kind of scary, Joe. 9.5 points. Dude. When was the last time the Spurs were favored by 9.5 points?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I like those odds, because it's better when they're underdogs. If you favor them to win, usually that means it's not going to bode well for the home team. I know this is probably their third game in the homestand now, the 5-game homestand. And this is a trap game, Mike. The Wizards are coming in.
The Jazz game was a trap game.
I know, and so is this one. The Wizards have only won 2 games on the season. They're 2-7. And the Spurs just can't take this team lightly because even though your record might show that you're not a good team, that you're not winning, just much like the Spurs, they're almost at 500. You
Right.
can't take these lesser teams for granted because they're hungry for wins too. And they're not just going to go out there and just lay down. You got to go out there and actually play the game for the full 48 minutes and get a win. I actually predict that this game is going to be a lot closer than Spurs fans would like.
Joe, because of that Atlanta win and because of Chicago's loss yesterday and because of the Spurs win earlier this week, as of now, instead of having 4 first-round draft picks, instead of having 2 first-round draft picks or 3, it's down to just 2 right now. Spurs projected to be picking number 12 and 15, Joe. This is going to be brutal, Joe. We need to have some lottery picks, man. Either from us or from the Hawks or from somebody. We need to have some lottery picks. And right now, it's getting a little bit kind of crazy because right now, these teams are kind of getting bunched up right now. The Hawks somehow, some way beat the Celtics yesterday, which was brutal. You see, we need the Bulls to lose, but we can't have them lose too many games because it's top 10 protected. The same goes for Charlotte. We need them to lose some games, but we also need them to win some games as well. It's going to be one of those things we're going to be watching this all through March and April, man.
Are we going to have to go to a curandera for the Hawks, man, and put some voodoo or something on them, dude, so they could just lose?
Tavarius reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says, great win by the Hawks. F them picks.
Jeez, man. I saw that. I was watching that. I was like, come on, man. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was watching, Mike.
I saw this guy post on Twitter today. And it's that guy that goes by Spurs Report who he's the one that steals everyone's stuff and makes it sound like he has sources and stuff. Yeah. He was talking about how great Brian Wright has done as a job, right? Because he's saying, 2019 is when he started picking, right? And he went through every single player the Spurs have picked. And he was like, well, Vassell was on his clock. Well, I don't know if Vassell was on the clock when he was on there, but let's just say that it was, right? So he goes, Vassell. And then he goes off and says Primo, and he goes off and says, all these other players, Sohan and these Wemby and Castle. He goes, well, Sohan, Wemby, and Castle obviously were hits, right? And I'm thinking about it, when I think about it, are they a good player or were they the best player available at that time? Because what hurts is when you see Jalen Williams ball out, and Jalen Williams was available when we got Sohan. Or when we see Alperen Şengün go off for near triple doubles, and we got Josh Primo instead.
I think it's like you said, best player available at that point in time, But Primo was not, dude. That was a faux pas there. I don't know why he was even drafted. And what's his name now, Mike? Gone.
Nowhere to be found.
Gone.
Luka Samanic? Nowhere to be found. And they're like, well, he wasn't the GM at that point. He was the assistant GM, right? He was in the building doing the scouting at that point. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
JHNSB reaches out to us on our YouTube stream saying Sohan was not a hit. Jalen Johnson, the Hawks, and J-Dub would have been much better. Again, apparently I have burner accounts out there that people don't realize because when people agree with me, they're like, it's got to be a burner, Joe. Can't be that anybody agrees with Jimenez.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring Jeff on now. Thanks for joining us, Jeff. Hopefully you
Money bags.
What's up, dudes?
What's up, man? I know we have to bring you on this way. It's not ideal, but Mike, he had to do the show remote today. So this is the only way that we can go ahead and make sure that everybody hears Jeff and Jeff hear us.
Okay, so we'll sing the money bags. We'll sing the money bags. Money, 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 money. Dollar bill, y'all. Money, 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 money.
God.
Jeff
Jeff
Garcia from Locked On Spurs and KENS 5.
It said Mike was serenading you. He was singing your money bag song for you, the Table Mac intro that we do for you when you come on Wednesdays.
I know, man. So what are y'all talking about?
Well, we're talking about the Spurs and Brian Wright and how the Hawks somehow pulled out a victory yesterday against the Celtics without Trae Young, without Bogdan Bogdanovic. Their 2 best players out. They beat the Celtics somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And now the Spurs lottery picks. I know it's November, right? But still, I look at this daily. The Spurs lottery picks kind of be in flux. It's possible that the Hawks might not be as bad as we thought. It's possible that the Bulls and the Hornets might be worse than we thought. It's the perfect storm of badness as of yet right now for the Spurs when it comes to those picks. Is it too early to think about this, Joe and Jeff?
Yeah, I think it is. It's still way too. I mean, think about it, NBA is already doing. If the playoffs started today, here's where they'll be ranking. I mean, it's way too soon.
Well, Jeff, they got to do something because their rankings their viewership is down big time.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
People are just tired of the poor product the NBA is putting out there.
I think just because the NBA is just so predictable. Like Jimenez, you said in the beginning of the show, like, oh, well, Boston eventually is going to win the title. I think that's just the way it is. Like, there's no suspense. There's nothing. It's like you can already project who are going to be the playoff teams, who are likely to be the conference finals, and then the NBA finals. And then you feel like the regular season is for nothing.
Look at this comment coming in, Jeff. Tony Ornelas is saying Mike Jimenez has an amazing voice. Voice of an angel.
He says he can sing.
This might be a tall tale.
At karaoke.
Oh, I can hold a tune. I can't sing. I can hold a tune. Though I have won money twice at karaoke.
There you go. You might like the story, though, when you had to sing, when you were hanging out with the boys over at the ESPN, the Star.
Oh, yeah, and I was drunk off my ass, and it was the
they
worst
made a bet
performance of all time. Yeah, Jason Minnick's completely let me hanging on that one. Yeah, Jeff, I went to karaoke with the Minnicks and Pledger one time, and I was drunk beyond all belief. And by the time I went up there, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't even hold a tune at this point." But
but as far as the Spurs friend is concerned, they got the Wizards. By the way, everybody, Mike Jimenez will be on today's Locked On Spurs. So heads up, Jimenez is coming on. We do give Joe a shout out a couple times during the show.
Does Mike have good takes on this episode, or is he going to be hated? The villain.
There might be one part where he might be hated. Might be one.
Wait. I'm thinking about this.
Jimenez, I got to get people to go to the show. Just say yes.
Well, if you want to get somebody to think about the show, how about this? The fact that the comment about me being a potential Rockets fan to end the show was hilarious.
You know what? Jimenez, good point. Listen to the end of the show, and when the Rockets discussion comes up, how far will Jimenez go? I'll just leave it at that.
Look at this. Tony Ornelas is saying, no, it isn't Tony. It was hand over fist. He says, get better guess, Jeff Garcia.
Well, it's funny. As the season goes on, more and more people are checking out the show, and sometimes they're putting up guests like they're cooking guests now, and those Locked On fans and listeners are coming in with some heat now. But I think the way the show ends today is going to have either people A, laughing at Jimenez, B, understanding Jimenez considering the situation he presents, or just flat out cooking him.
I go with the latter, Jeff. He's going to get cooked again, just like Spam when you put it on the frying pan and it sizzles. Yeah, that's Mike Jimenez when San Antonio cooks.
By the way, heated up Spam is good.
No, man,
that's
Spam
gross,
is bad, bro. It's gross,
I love it, man.
Okay, let's make the proclamation that Spam is gross, bologna is gross.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
And weenus is gross.
Don't say it like that.
Like weenie and egg, Jeff. Come on.
You know what? When I was living in New York City, I had primo deli meats, and I've tasted just some of the best bologna out there.
Man, Jeff, every time I talk to you when you were in New York, right, and you were on the street somewhere, you're like, oh, hold up real quick, dude. I'm going to get a sandwich, Jeff.
I always be getting sandwiches. You say, hold on, I got past the deli. I got to get a sandwich.
You had your favorite one, too. It was like right across from...
Yeah, it was called Taste Buds. It was real close, yeah. But no, Joe, so the Spurs and Wizards, fun game tonight. Why? Because, get this, the Wizards are averaging 120 or more points against the Spurs in 6 of the last 7 games. They put up points against the Spurs. And considering the Spurs' defense is much more improved, I think that's going to be an interesting storyline tonight.
So the Spurs right now, oddly enough, Vegas has the Spurs as a heavy favorite. 9.5 points, Jeff. I can't remember the last time the Spurs were a 9.5 point favorite. So you're telling us, take the points.
I'm taking the points, yeah. I'm taking the points. Nice. You got a clash of style is practically the Spurs' bread and butter this season has been the defensive end, anchored by Wemby. We'll see how that lasts with Sohan out, but as long as you got the human eraser behind you, should be okay. And the Wizards, they put up points, so it's going to be a clash of styles tonight. And you look at the other players on the roster for Wizards, and you got to talk about this. Jimenez, Sar versus Wemby. That should be fun to watch. Yeah,
That's going to be a fun matchup right there. But the thing is, like I was telling Mike, it's a trap game for the Spurs. Wizards coming into this contest at 2-7, one of the worst teams in the NBA. Spurs can't take them for granted. You got to go out there, like I said, those full 48 minutes. They can't fall behind. They can't make a lot of turnovers because turnovers are going to hurt them. If they have like 20-plus turnovers, it could be a loss for them easily.
Hey, Joe, I was going to ask you. So Jimenez and I, we discussed this on Locked On Spurs. And no, Jimenez, don't give it away. Don't give it away, your answers, okay? And I won't give away mine. But so this is the topic of today. We're early in the season. We're like about 10 games in, right? 10, 11 games, whatever. What is your biggest early surprise of the season?
Early surprise in the season for me has been how well Stephon Castle has played on this team.
Interesting.
The other thing, the surprise to me has been Wemby's slow start to the season.
There we go. See, Jimenez, we didn't have that point on our picks, but we had that one of us mentioned is in our honorable mention. But Wemby's slow start, that definitely was a surprise. I didn't see that coming, Jimenez.
Yeah, that's a little bit crazy because we did kind of briefly touch on that as well.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of the conversation points that we had on today's show, and Jeff and Joe is right. I mean, Wemby's slow start was kind of not expected. We were thinking because he played so well in the Olympics, because he played so well in February, March, and April to end the season that we thought he was going to shoot out like a cannon, right? Mm-hmm. But he had a slow start. His three-point shooting has ticked upwards. He had he knocked down 6 the other day, which 6 out of 12. Which I'm not ever going to complain about making 50% of your threes, right? But it was kind of funny though, was that when he was missing by a tremendous amount, like 2 or 3 air balls along the way. So it was just so weird. It was a weird night for Wemby shooting the ball. I'm not going to complain that he went 6 for 12. I will complain, though, that I don't like him shooting 12 three-pointers in a game.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, too. He's getting better little by little at the 3-shot. I mean, he told media the other day that he's never going to be shooting 66% all the time, nor 25% all the time. You can't react either way. And he started off strong from the 3 line in the last win. And it trickled down a bit, but, that's just the modern NBA big now. I mean, you and I and Joe were used to the Shaqs and the Ewings and Alonzo Mournings, those brutes, and that's just they're not built that way anymore, Jimenez.
There were battles back in the day, Jeff, down in the paint, and people getting their heads almost clean cut off.
Yeah.
Wemby now at 31% on the season from 3, which is still 1 point below what he was last year. Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and KENS 5, you posted something earlier today on Twitter regarding Devin Vassell's scoring ability and the rate at which he's scoring. Right now he's on a minutes restriction. He's coming off the bench. But when he's out there, he's trying to light it up, man. He's not trying to shy away from the offense.
Yeah. I mean, the sample size is still too small. Let's see how he looks after a week and a half worth of games are under his belt. But you like the trending upward. I mean, that's good. That's good. You like that.
What do you say, Jeff? We need consistency, right? Out of this
consistency, and you know what? Let's be honest. Him to stay healthy. I'm at the point now. Every time I see Vassell take a fall, I cringe. I'm like, oh no, not what now? That's my first thought. Is it could be a 4-point play, it could be an and one, it could be even a dunk, and the whole Frost Center is going crazy. But if I see him stumble after that dunk, I'm like, please get up.
Jeff's going to say, take my back. I don't need it.
I know, right? Yeah. But, the Spurs, still early in the season, a lot. Look, if you're looking for signs of improvement, they're there. Defense, they got it for the most part. And one thing I spoke with Mitch Johnson, Harrison Barnes, and Wemby recently about something that's getting overlooked right now. Brace yourself, everybody. They're holding on to leads. They're holding on to leads going into the fourth quarter.
What?
Whether they're up 1, they're up 20, doesn't matter. They're holding on to leads. They're undefeated at home if they're leading after the third period, and then overall they're 5-1 if they're leading after the third period, road and home combined. So Harrison Barnes told me that it's all you can have all the talent in the world on the roster, but if you can't do the little things to maintain those leads, you're going to pick up the L. And he pointed to what almost happened against the Clippers. So then you have Wemby. Wemby was just flat out honest with me. He just said, "Yeah, that kind of got us last season." Pretty blunt about it. So I think that's if you're looking for signs of improvement in the rebuild, there's a big one right there.
Got a question for you from one of our listeners here. They wanted to ask you, Jeff, who do you think the alpha is? Do you think it's going to be Devin Vassell or Wemby?
I'm going to steal that for a topic on Locked On Spurs. That's a good topic. I want it to be Wemby. How's that? I really
want it to be, but I think, in my opinion, Jeff, I think it's Devin. Devin's got that dog in him, and Devin wants that ball. And I think he takes the scoring load off of Wemby and allows him to play his natural position.
What about this? What about this as a wild card? What about Chris Paul?
Nope.
No.
I think he's the floor general, but definitely he ain't the leader. He ain't like, this is my team. Devin says, we hooping, you watch.
Yeah, the alpha move that we saw from Chris Paul was slapping Dylan Brooks on the side of the head, man. That's as alpha as he can get.
But that's a great question. Yeah, I'm definitely going to steal that for Locked On Spurs. Appreciate that idea. Here's the thing, though. Would you say Sohan was pre-injury?
Pre-injury, yes.
Okay.
He was the only one who was bringing some fire when the game started.
So when you're talking alpha, you just mean a dog on the floor. You don't
not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily, because alpha to me on the court. I apologize for interrupting. Alpha for me on the court basically means that you want the ball. You want the ball. Okay. Bucket needs to be get. You want to get the ball and you want to put it down, right?
Isn't that Wemby?
No, Wemby deferred way too much. You saw the first 6 games of the year, he had fewer shot attempts than Sohan. We're now seeing Wemby accelerate, get more shot attempts right now because Sohan's not there. And that's kind of the rub there, Jeff. And that's one of the things that Spurs fans don't want to think about or talk about,
or admit,
is that it is possible that they just don't jive together offensively. And that's not saying that one player sucks or doesn't belong in the league. It could be that they just don't mix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this hand over fist. F dogs. Wemby is a wolf.
There you go. That's a good one.
Oh, Michael bumped off. Here we go. Now you're back, Mike.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get this thing back in order. There we are. All right. No, but I think that Wemby right now, I think Spurs fans have to understand one thing. Wemby, I don't think he's going to be that guy that wants the ball at the end of games when the game is on the line. I think that's going to be Devin.
I like what Cavasso says. What about, or forgetting about Keldon? We just want a dog out there. Keldon's been that dog for a few seasons already.
But Keldon makes some boneheaded moves, man. Still kind of regresses in a bit because he gets that tunnel vision and he sees the rim, and all he has to do is barrel his way through there, and it's offensive foul or turnover. It's like he needs to play a little bit more controlled. I do like his aggressiveness, don't get me wrong, but it seems to cost the team and crunch time because of the way that he plays, his style of play. Much like, remember how Coach Pop used to say, Manu's going to Manu, Keldon's going to Keldon, man. There's good and bad in those players.
Yeah, I think at this point of his career, Keldon is Keldon. And that's just who he is for the rest of his career.
Exactly. Mario Cavasso says Keldon is not as scared. It's like, yeah, exactly. He doesn't play with any fear, but it also comes at a cost because if you're turning the ball over, you're not getting a point in crunch time, it's a detriment to the team.
Here's something. Jimenez, you're picking Vassell as the dog or that guy on the court, but can you be that guy on the court when, and not just Vassell, but everybody else is tradable? Is a tradable asset like Vassell enough to be an alpha? To me, an alpha is a guy that's going to stick with the team and going to be that guy for the team for the rest of his career, or at least for a long portion of his career.
Well, I'm going to throw a name out there that you might I might get some egg on my face when it comes to all this. Early on in his career, did you ever think that David Robinson was the alpha of the team?
Yeah, I did.
No,
Oh
did.
my,
no.
come on.
You
He
out of
did
your
not
mind,
develop. He did
Jimenez?
not develop into that until probably year 4 or 5 of his career. I'm not saying that he didn't get there, but early on in his career, I never thought that Dave Robinson was that, because
Was the alpha?
you had other players on the team that wanted the ball down the stretch, wanted to take that last shot, and it
Who's
took
Terry
years
Cummings?
for David to get there. David became that guy. David did become the alpha at some point,
Oh,
but it wasn't from the get go. He may have been rookie of the year. He may have been an all-star early on, but he wasn't that guy probably until year 3 or 4.
so if David Robinson wasn't the alpha, then how do you explain the Spurs' quick turnaround as being one of the
Thank you,
best in the
Joe.
NBA?
Thank you, Joe.
No, it was talent. It was talent, dude. He had talent. He was the best talented player. And not only that, he was also rookie alongside Sean Elliott. They came along together. So it was more than just one player that turned that team around. Then you also bring in the fact that they had veterans like Terry Cummings. They had veteran leadership all up and down that roster there. They had some youth, they had some veterans, and they had good coaching. Everything brought it around.
July 26 agrees with you. He says Duncan wasn't the alpha early. It was the vets, like the little general Avery said. He was.
I don't know about that. I think Tim Duncan was the alpha. Everything ran through him immediately. When you defer Robinson as backup to Timmy in your rookie season, that tells you a lot about who's the alpha.
Now it tells you who's the most talented player. Doesn't mean it tells you who's the alpha. Talent doesn't necessarily mean that you're the guy that wants to do it. I'll give you an example. The best player on the Boston Celtics right now is Jason Tatum, right? Jason Tatum is the best player on that team. He ain't the alpha on that team. Jaylen Brown is.
Well, the alpha missed a shot at the end of the game.
There you go.
Most expensive player right now. Let's say he's garnering the highest paycheck in the NBA.
Right. It was his turn.
Not there to choke. All right.
It was his turn, but he was also the reason why they won the finals last year. So
Yeah.
it's a regular season game. Regular season game. Who cares?
Look at this, Jeff. They go
Zarko Paspal.
with Zarko Paspal smoking at halftime. Made him the alpha and omega in his prime.
I think so, man. If you can ball out after sucking down a pack of cigarettes and score at will, yeah, I think you're in.
Those are good times, man.
I never thought I'd ever hear the name Zarko Paspal ever again. And why do I still remember that he's number 14?
Zarko Paspal. I think I still have one of his NBA cards. Dude.
Yeah, I think so too.
He was one of those the first wave of Euros like entered the league, right? It was him and Marshallonis and God, who else was Sabonis? I guess Sabonis. I guess.
Drazen Petrovic. He was on his way to be making some major noise before his untimely death.
Yeah.
So right now the Spurs are one game behind Sacramento for the 10th spot in the play-in tournament. I know it's early on. We're only 11 games in. But Jeff, at what point do we start to believe that this could actually happen? That they could actually be play-in bound, a play-in worthy team?
I think you'll get that vibe about 2.5 months in. They're kind of having it easy beasy right now with them playing at home for feels like for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. Right now, they have a long homestand. They got one day where they go to Dallas and then they're right back. So they got an 8-game homestand. They're kind of playing not the greatest competition, although losing to Utah was just not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. How do you leave Colin Sexton that wide open to have a look at the basket? And then Chris Paul closes out on him. I mean, that was just whatever. I was there. I'm getting flashbacks right now. But, they're kind of having a soft portion of their schedule. Wizards tonight should have beaten Utah, but, you technically, by record, Utah was considered a soft team. You had Sacramento off a back-to-back, let alone an OT game the Kings went through with Phoenix. So we need to see them play against the big boys tonight. It'll be a fun game, but the Spurs should win. Then we'll get some tests soon. They got Dallas on the schedule. OKC, even though they don't have Chet, I still think that's going to be a rough out for the Spurs. So we'll see what they're made of in the next few days. But I always say give it about 2.5, 3 months, and by then you can already figure out who's going to win the NBA title because the NBA is that obvious, is that predictable.
Yeah, the Spurs do have the start of their in-season tourney. It's going to happen here on Friday against the hated Los Angeles Lakers. They're going to be calling here. The court is going to look something amazing.
Yeah, but they're not going to wear the jerseys, though, that day, the new jerseys.
They're not?
No.
Oh, man.
They're going to have the new court, but they're not going to have the new jerseys.
Oh, that sucks. That would have been a treat for Spurs fans.
Well,
'cause-
let me just double check on that. Let me check my inbox, but I
Yeah.
think they're not. Yeah.
I'm on Ticketmaster for those who want to go to tonight's Spurs game against the Washington Wizards.
$4
Again, it's going to be a 7 p.m. tip at the Frost Bank Center. The cheapest seat, according to Ticketmaster.com, including the fees. If you want to be on the 12th row of section 210, $12.
Get out.
That
Real?
includes the fees.
How much?
Dang.
$10?
12.
12? Not bad.
Where are you
Here's
sitting
what-
again? Where are you sitting again? I'm sorry.
Oh, I haven't bought tickets yet, but it looks like I'm going to. Row 9 of 221 going for $14, including fees.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
remember
you're
the last
still
time
up
I
in the
went?
balcony.
Remember when I went to the game last time, Joe and Jeff? I bought cheap seats, and while I was there, I went on SeatGeek before the game started for $12. Got down to the 26th row.
There you go. That'll happen
The old
again.
hemisphere scooch down the rows.
They didn't ask you for, hey, do you have?
Yeah,
can I-
back then they didn't ask you. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do that. They didn't do that then. Now they do.
Hey, Plaza level right now. Not was it charter level, Joe?
Yeah.
Looking at $80, including fees.
Not bad.
Dude, if you're gonna go to a Spurs game, want to see a Spurs victory, and you want to go in on the cheap, tonight's the game to do it.
There
Yeah.
you go. Less than a price
Yeah.
of beer over there at the Frost Center. The beers are
Yeah.
kind of expensive, man.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
Drew Show. What did Drew Show put down right there? He's coming to my defense. What was that once that one line he had there?
There it is. Drew Show says Mike is right until Terry Cummings' unfortunate injury in an offseason pickup game. Terry was the leader of the team. Facts.
Anyway,
I seen it. I seen it. I was there.
Terry Cummings, bro. Come on, man.
hey, y'all gonna watch that Tyson Paul fight on Friday?
If you already have a subscription to Netflix, sure, why not? But if you're having to pay for it, nah, bro, I'm good. This is just an exhibition game. Iron Mike says, "Oh, I'm feeling like old Mike. I'm gonna take his head off." No, you're not, Mike. Stop.
Rigged? Is it a rig, Joe?
It's rigged, man. It's always rigged. What needs to happen is they're gonna go 5 or 6 rounds. The boys
Yeah.
can barely be standing up, huffing and puffing. Iron Mike's gonna be gassed at the end of the second or third round. Jake Paul's gonna get some hits in. At the end of the day, he's probably gonna win because that's what they want, and it's not gonna be a KO because they can't knock him out. So I'm like, it's dumb, dude.
Fernandez reaching out to us and saying that don't forget that Mario Barrios of San Antonio champion Mario Barrios is out there. Talking about how the undercard is so good out there. By the way, the Tyson Jake Paul thing does nothing for me, dude. I don't want to see Tyson because Tyson was one of my heroes growing up, man. Growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, watching him fight, and before he went to jail, and even after he went to jail, was a big fan. And for people to think that we're going to see that guy, because, man, I can't stand watching Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter with all these posts about Mike Tyson training and look how good he looks. And it's spliced up editing, like edit. Everybody can look good edited, right? He's an old man. He's going to get his ass handed to him. He's 60 years old, for crying out loud. Jake
you
Paul
beat him in
half
the
his
foot
age.
race?
He's going to beat his ass.
You could beat him in the foot race?
Get in the ring
I
with
could
him then.
beat pigeons in a flying contest.
Get in the ring with him then.
Oh, why? Why? I'm not a boxer. Jake Paul apparently is.
Sneaky athletic.
Any fighter of the
Joe.
same size going up against a 60-year-old man, why does anybody want to watch a 60-year-old man box?
I got the headline, Jeff.
What is it?
Iron Mike versus Wimpy Mike.
There you go. Versus tinfoil Mike.
No. Mike will be like, I'm going down, but I'll get some hits in.
Well, you're
Only
undefeated.
Fiesta-
Hey,
only under
Jimenez,
Fiesta rules.
you're undefeated in fights, man. So you should be. Able
Yeah.
to take
Well, no. I've said it before. My record on fights is 2-1 and 1 disqualification.
this. Why DQ?
Because this one guy was bullying me in 8th grade, and I couldn't take it anymore, and I started beating the shit out of him. And then his friend came and tackled me, and then they beat up on me 2-on-1. So that's a disqualification because I was winning the fight, right? I was winning the fight, but I lost the fight. I just got my ass handed to me because I was down 2-1.
No one came to your aid.
No one came to my aid.
His friends watching him there get an ass.
So I want to take that as a partial victory because I was winning when it was 1-on-1. But it wasn't until his friend, who was much bigger than me, knocked me down and 2-on-1, and it got cleared out after a while. But man, that they got like 8 or 9 punches on my face, so I got my ass kicked. But I was winning, Joe. I was winning, but then I got my ass kicked.
Jason Garcia says that guy took his fries and Mike cried.
Dude, hey, Jay, you know what, man? If you remember those fries back from Northside ISD back in the day that came in the cup that looked like fries? Those were delicious, man. Those were amazing.
No, I miss the grade school pizza. That was always the best.
Oh man,
Yeah,
the top tier.
Oh,
Top
God,
tier.
it was so
Those
good.
little round pizzas, man.
What's the equivalent now that we could get at Walmart or HEB? Is it Tostinos?
No way.
man.
I mean, this pizza was on another level.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I guess it was the grill that they put it on, or the little ovens, whatever.
Those
they
square
had.
pieces, yeah.
Man, that pizza was good, dude. And sometimes it was like a little round pizza that you would get that they would serve. I think it was on Thursdays or something when I was in high school. Everybody was like, "Nah, you ain't taking my pizza today." Like everybody wanted to go back and get seconds.
Yeah.
Those enchiladas were nasty, dude.
Mhm.
It looked
That was
like
gross.
They're like cheese was all runny and everything.
Yeah, freaking nasty, dude. You're gonna be in the bathroom if you ate those enchiladas, dude. I'm like, nah.
I was all about the Salisbury steak. I don't know why. I like the Salisbury steak. Why don't we have Salisbury steak as adults? Like we had to stop in high school.
Ooh, we'll put that on a silver platter for you, Mike. We'll put a little napkin on you so you can eat the Salisbury steak. Oh god, man.
That gravy was delicious, man.
That's nasty, dude. That's not even meat. That's like mystery meat. Carne de burro or something, dude. Gross. Jeff's like, that's nasty, Jeff. Would you eat a Salisbury steak, Jeff?
I think I would if it's prepared right.
Yeah, you can go to HEB and get those banquet meals, right?
They're in
You
there.
know,
Banquet. I'd rather eat a
Yeah,
hot
frozen dinners.
yeah.
Tony Ornelas.
Dude, I remember when I got divorced the first time, Jeff. The first time I moved into an apartment, so I went from this really nice house to this really cruddy apartment. So it was a fall from grace 15, 16 years ago. And I remember not having much money for anything because I was going through my divorce, and I had a Hot Pocket in the freezer. And I remember not knowing what it was. I just knew that it was going to be my dinner. And I was like, I didn't know if it was a breakfast pocket, pepperoni. I didn't know if it was cheesesteak, what it was. And I was just like, man, this is how bad things have gotten for me when I hit rock bottom back in 2009.
No, you hit rock bottom. You do what Fernandez is saying, dude. This was embarrassing at school because if you had free or reduced lunch, you had to take out your card. And he said, get my card for free lunch and be embarrassed for being poor.
Yeah.
Poor
Well, I mean,
I feel for him.
I feel for that too because it used to be like, you have the EBT card, right? So, it looks like a debit card, right? And back in the day, though, man, when people would pull out the actual stamps.
Oh, Stampias.
Yeah, dude, that
Remember
was
that, Jeff?
that was brutal.
The booklet of the food stamps. You remember seeing those?
Yeah. Hey, but man, if you go to like Walmart, you get the brand of cheese that's the same as the government cheese. That's the real deal, man.
That's nasty. That cheese, you could leave it out in the sun and it wouldn't melt, dude. It'd still keep its form, dude. I mean, you could build a house with that thing, dude. It was not melting. I don't know what it was.
Hey, Jeff. When I was at the Spurs game last, when I saw you a couple of weeks ago and my daughter was there, my daughter asked me, she's walking into the tunnel to go to the seats, and she goes, "Dad, get me some nachos." And I looked back at her and I said, "Mexican nachos or white nachos?"
What?
And she just looked at me and she goes, "Oh, white nachos." And it was the funniest thing because you have all these people looking at me like I was weird, but that's the thing at the Frost Bank Center. You can get white man nachos, which is the nachos with the Rico cheese like you get at the high school football games. Those are white man nachos, but they also have the nachos there that have the carne asada, that have the guacamole and sour cream and all that stuff. Those are the Mexican nachos. You could get both. So I didn't say it to be funny. It's one of those things where there's a crowd and she's going in the tunnel and she's asking me, looking back, asking for nachos. And I'm like, white nachos, Mexican nachos. And I had no other way of saying it.
Look at Joe Gonzalez. He says the monopoly money to buy food was gacho, total BS. That was the stampillas, dude. That little booklet with all the funny money. You had to go into the store to buy that, man. You were so embarrassed. You're looking around, man. Are my friends around? Anybody I know? Go in there and run in there and try to get the heck out before you saw someone, dude.
Joe, let me ask you this question, Joe. I was thinking about this yesterday. I remember the days of going to Bill Miller's 5 minutes before they closed, hoping that they'd have extra food. Did you ever do that, Jeff?
What's that? Oh, I did it recently at Las Palapas, and they gave me some stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They said, yeah, here you go. They gave me some tortillas, some tortilla chips, and then corn tortillas, and then I think they had like a flan or something like that.
They had a flan. No, back in the day, you go to Bill Miller, they'd be like, okay, we'll give you a whole pie for $2.
Yeah.
For the chicken.
We'll give you 10 pieces of chicken for $3. Good times, man. I swear Bill Miller's got me fat.
No, man, that's just you're putting on the love weight now, Mike. That's
Huh?
Yeah,
No, dude, I'm slimming down, dude. Ever since I've been dating this girl, I'm down weight, man. I don't know what to say. Referee last night, Johnson versus Stevens High School.
they were cooking you last night, dude.
Oh, dude, that was the easiest game to ever referee in my entire life. Johnson was destroying them 40-7 at halftime. And so the first half of the game, I was running up and down the court pretty fast. But the second half, they pumped the brakes. They just wanted to run the clock out. They decided to play no offense. Neither team played offense. They just passed the ball to each other. They ran out each 8-minute quarter down the stretch. So I really maybe only did 10 trips up and down the court.
We're talking about food. Everybody's in this chat getting hungry.
Yeah.
Got to ask you a question, Jeff.
Hey, guys. Well, I gotta have to go, man, because I gotta get ready for Locked On Spurs recording. Okay. So,
any news on Coach Pop yet?
Nothing.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us, man. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Later. Be safe.
All right. Bye.
Dude, how is it that Jeff is able to go off and tweet while doing the show with us? Because 15 minutes ago, he posted, MJ acquired taste, really saying right now the Spurs legend David Robinson was not an alpha on the Spurs when he entered the league as a rook for a few years and for a few years after.
There you go, man.
He's roasted me on Twitter while doing the show. That is some multitasking of the highest level.
That's some gangster shit right there, man. That's a Jefe for you, man. That's why we call him Jefe.
Chris Gonzalez saying he might get some China Rose today.
Hey, man, China Rose is top tier here. It's the jewel of the hood, man. If you know,
it was all right. It wasn't bad. Yeah. It was all right.
That's some good stuff, bro. You shut your mouth, Mr. Jimenez.
I didn't say it was bad. You know what? I'm just saying it was all right. I liked it. It was better than mall Chinese food, right? Shopping mall Chinese food. But Ding Hao is superior. Ding Hao is superior to China Rose. Faux show.
No.
Now, I'm going to have some leftover Cooper's barbecue for New Braunfels, man. I went out to Cooper's Monday night. Got a big old pork chop that I'm going to have here for lunch in a little bit.
Well, you know what? Since we had Jeff on, we got to go ahead and give him some love, too. So you can go ahead and watch the Locked On Spurs podcast on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe as he's 5,000 subscribers strong. Go ahead and add to that total. But we're going to go ahead and pause real quick so we can go ahead and bring you a word from Locked On Spurs. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for KENS 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G KENS 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, I just saw Jeff's tweet right now, by the way.
Yeah, there's a guy named Bowtie Dad who came to my defense over here saying, Well, he wasn't an alpha. He was an amazing athlete and individual. He didn't love basketball. That was evident. He didn't have that alpha killer instinct in him to be the best of the best. But no matter what, Robinson's a legend, a champion, an awesome example for people everywhere. Again, is it if it's an unpopular take, doesn't make it a bad take. It just makes it accurate sometimes.
The way you say it. Oh my God, man.
Oh man, let me ask you the question about the hot pocket from back in the day. What did it turn out to be? It turned out to be a pizza pocket. I dig that, dude. I need to get some more hot pocket.
Look at
Joe Gonzalez saying Golden Walk. Give me that failing health inspection score. Dude, Golden Walk's legit, man. Golden Walk is good. You got that one over that new one over there on Marbach and 410.
The Golden Walk is good. The one that Ding Hao is like, that's all right.
Nah, Ding Hao's amazing, man.
It's all
the
right.
Golden Walk, though, that you have in the medical center, the one on Wurzbach, is by far the best one. It's just different good there. Remember Mencius? Is Mencius still around on Fredericksburg? That place was pretty good.
Mencius? Yeah, it's still there.
But the king of Northwest Side Chinese restaurants, food back in the day, will always be HEB Marketplace. Doesn't matter if it was the Marbach location or the Bandera location, HEB had the best Chinese food. And you know what? You go back in time, it probably sucks.
Oh, man.
We just had bad palates back in the day.
You know what did suck, though? I don't know if you saw this. What Coach Spoelstra did. Oh, man.
What do you do?
He went ahead and called a timeout yesterday, and he had no timeouts remaining. And then he had to go and speak to the media about it afterwards, and he was just so embarrassed, man. You could tell he was just like, damn, man, I can't believe I did that. He's like, I didn't realize that we didn't have any more timeouts left, and to make insult to injury, they had Mr. what's his name, Rose and attending the game, I think, over there with the Miami Heat. So you know how he was part of the Chris Webber and all that,
Yeah.
And they were infamous for calling the timeout when they had.
Oh yeah.
So they had his meme is going to be going off forever, dude. His reaction was like, "Oh no!" But yeah, Coach Spo, man, he went ahead and closed. He called a timeout when he had none left, cause they had to call a technical foul on him, dude. So he had egg on his face. He was embarrassed. Force him out.
The Pistons 5-7 record for the Pistons, man. They've been bad for years. They beat the Heat 123-121 in overtime. Tyler Herro had 40 points for the Heat yesterday. Cade Cunningham 21 points. It's nice to see some of these teams like the Spurs, the Pistons, show some life, right? I'm not saying that the Spurs are going to go off and win 41 games. They might be a 25-win team. The Spurs might be a 35-win team. The Spurs might be a 41-win team. We don't know yet, but that's the range. That is the range. I think the high end is 41, 42. I think the low end's 25. We're going to be somewhere in there. And Matt Lamb reaching out saying, all I know is we're talking too much about Chinese food. He's got to get some today, baby.
Yeah, Mencius is the bomb. Still there, man. I'm telling you, it's still there.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah, but they were also talking about NFL rushing yards leaders, man. I saw this put up by FanDuel, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, it wasn't FanDuel. It was NFL on Prime Video. They put this up. NFL yards rushing leaders as of the 12th. And that's going to be leading the pack and running away with it appears is Derrick Henry. He has 1,120 rushing yards on the season, followed closely by Saquon Barkley of the Eagles with 991. And then the last three are going to be Chuba Hubbard with 818. Josh Jacobs has 762, and Bijan Robinson with 748.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs is number 6 at 727. Jahmyr Gibbs is interesting because he's a split back in the sense that he splits handoffs. The other 5 are the premier running backs of that team. But Jahmyr Gibbs is doing this by committee because Montgomery is getting a ton of touches as well. But you look at that, and for Cowboy fans out there, they're playing a Texans team that is beaten down right now. That Texans team might be coming into J World at 6-4. We know months, Joe, that this is going to be a beat down. The Texans are going to beat the Cowboys down, and We're all going to laugh about it, and Texans fans are going to be like, hey, come join our bandwagon. We're the good team. We're the best team in Texas. Joe, I'm looking at this game, Joe, and I'm thinking to myself, if the Cowboys are going to get one, they're going to get this one. I don't want to put up some optimism there because I know it's been a while. I know because I can't see the Cowboys going winless at home this year.
Hey, it can happen, man. The way that this Cowboys team has been playing, and then you saw Rush out there, he ain't it, dude. Yeah, I mean,
well, we saw this past week the Texans blow a massive lead to the Lions.
That was
it was. We saw the Broncos almost beat the Chiefs, right? We're a blocked field goal away at the buzzer from winning that game. I'm looking at this Texans team, Joe. This Texans team is ripe for the taking, man. They're not any good. They're just not. Now, they're going to get back their star wide receiver, Nico Collins. But I know the Cowboys suck. I know Cooper Rush sucks. And I know the running game sucks. And I know that the defense has a tough time stopping the run. But what I'm saying is that, yeah, the Cowboys suck, but the Texans suck too. That's all I'm saying. The Texans are a paper tiger 6-4. They are not a good team. They are slightly below average this year. And they got a bunch of wins because they played a bunch of bad teams and they lucked out in a lot of those games. They shouldn't have beaten Indy in one of those games. They shouldn't have beaten Tennessee in one of those games. They beat a lot of bad teams and barely beat them. This is not a very good team. And I will say this. The Texans are allergic to blowing out teams. The Texans keep it within one possession at all times. They did that with the Lions. Dude, they were up against the Lions by 20-some-odd points, and they lose. They can't hold on to leads. They let other teams stick around. They play down to competition. Cowboys might take this game.
Not according to Chris Gonzalez. He says the 5 home games the Cowboys have lost by 20 points. The Cowboys stink at home, man. I think going to be the battle for Texas here, and I think the Texans are going to take this one away from the Cowboys. I don't see that the Cowboys have much fight left in them. If you see the demeanor of the team right now, they just don't look very up and, ready to go ahead and play these games. You can tell from the coaching staff all the way down to the players. It's a different vibe right now, man. They're in the doldrums of the season, and they know what's coming.
Okay, Big Sean PD says, Mike, slap yourself back to reality. Texas will kill y'all. Don't say y'all. I ain't a Cowboy fan. Fuck the Cowboys. I don't like them. Okay? This is just me being a sports fan. Now, Matt Lerma bringing up a really good point. Say you sure was hyping up the Texans during the offseason, though. Injuries happen, right? That is basically it. When you lose certain players, your team changes, man. If the Spurs lost Wemby, the team changes. If the Spurs lose Sohan or Vassell or whoever, it changes the things, right? So so part of it's just the evolution of the season. You have Nico Collins, who was on track for over 2,000 yards receiving, go down with an injury. He's coming back this week. You saw Joe Mixon go down with an injury. The offensive line for the Texans has been decimated. They can't keep C.J. Stroud upright. The defense has had injuries. And I know all teams have injuries, but it just seems that the Texans came in bunches, and they came at these positions that were very, very highly skilled. So the Texans, if healthy, are a very, very, very good team. You've also C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud has also gone back in talent, man. There's tape on him that you could actually game plan for him. Second year, sophomore slump. There's a lot going on when it comes to that.
Mario Cavazos is mad because you said F the Cowboys. He says, Joe, say fuck the Saints. So
Dude, I'm pissed off that the Saints won this past weekend. Saints are my favorite team. I'm pissed that they won. Right now, the Saints have the number 8 or 9 pick in the draft when they could have had the number 2 pick in the draft or be on track for that had they lost to the Falcons. Give up that touchdown to Kirk Cousins. Do what you need to do because you need to get a dynamic player number 2. Now win these meaningless games and go 7-10. 7-10. I don't want my team going 7-10. I want my team going 3-14.
Y'all need a quarterback.
Take like a man.
Need a quarterback.
Yeah, they're strapped to him for another season, and then they have to bite the bullet and have dead cap space.
Hey, Rattler ain't it, man.
He never got the first team reps. I don't know. Jury's still out. I wouldn't doubt it. He was a 4th rounder for a reason, or a 5th rounder for a reason.
Yeah.
$5.47 super chat coming in
I
from the
haven't seen
Drew
that.
Show. Says, throw the chancla. Detroit is supposed to win the Super Bowl. Texans manhandled them. Texans lost to the Lions. The Lions didn't win it. Your need and pleasure. Okay, so he's saying that I backed up. But then again, you can always say good teams know how to win, right, Joe?
Good teams know how to win. Yeah.
Good teams win when they don't have their best effort. You saw the Lions there with 5 turnovers. You should win a game. Any team, the Texans, the Cowboys, whomever, if you get 5 turnovers, you should win that game. But let's throw the chancla. He asked for it. He paid for it. Let's throw that chancla.
I'll go ahead and put the chancla up here. You know what's funny? I didn't even have the chancla video loaded up until right now when I saw that Drew Show gave us a $5.47 super chat, and I loaded it up real quick. Y'all are paying. We're going to do it.
You know what? I'd rather see the chancla being thrown than the grito. Do we need to retire the grito?
No. The grito.
We need to replace it, man. There's got to be something else that we got to do, man.
Nah, the grito stays, dude.
You know what? We need to bring back that guy that Go Spurs Go. What's that one guy?
Just shut up. Go Spurs Go.
You know what? I want to see that tomorrow if the Spurs are back at 500. They win tonight. Go Spurs Go.
I think what's going to happen is that Spurs fans are going to see some inconsistency out of the team. The problem is that the team plays great one game, and then the next game they just don't show up, man. I hope that we see the team show up and they get a win, but if they don't, wouldn't surprise me, man.
Dude, I'm going to go to tonight's game.
Look at that, Matt Lerma. $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Matt Lerma. And also thank you, Drew, for your $5.47 super chat. We appreciate you guys. Matt Lerma says, come watch Spurs versus Mavs at 2-1, though. 2-1-0, though. Yeah, he says, go Spurs, go Grito. Because he is having a Spurs watch party this Saturday. So we're going to go ahead and support Matt, and we'll be out there. I'll be out there. And also giving them some things to give away to the peeps that show up. So make sure you go out and support.
Very nice. Very nice. Tony Nales agreeing, saying, yeah, we got to retire the grito.
Where? I don't see that yet.
Retire
the grito. No.
Yeah, I kind of think kind of ethnic, Joe.
No. The grito stays. Oh, also, let's go ahead and give some love to MCS General Contracting because they've been with us since day one. And they are the home of the Diamond Hard Concrete. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. Hey, man, just got some entertainment news coming through the wire here. I don't know if you saw this, but TMZ is reporting that Full House star Dave Collier is battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was the guy that did all the many voices on Full House, man, back in the day. So pour some out for him, man. Hopefully he can go ahead and battle this and come back, but man, we're getting old now, Mike. Everybody that we used to grow up watching, man, the guys are starting to get old, they're starting to get sick, man.
Yeah, Dave Coulier, man, the legend became true that he was the source material behind the Alanis Morissette song "You Ought to Know."
Damn.
You know how she was all jaded about the breakup and all that stuff and going after that guy? It turned out to be Dave Coulier of Full House. Dave Coulier, by the way, I used to like him, dude. He used to do that whole "cut it out."
Yeah.
Back in the day, that was funny, dude. I liked him a lot. By the way, a little unknown fact about that song "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette. Fun fact: you may or may not know this. Again, she was the jaded rock star of the mid-'90s, right? Fantastic. She became She was engaged for a while or married for a while to Ryan Reynolds, if I'm not mistaken. But who played the music and You Ought to Know, Joe? If you go back and listen to the song, it's actually pretty good musically, right? Well, you have Taylor Hawkins, who later became a member of the Foo Fighters, who passed away last year. He was the drummer of that song. And the guitarist of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea, and at the time, not John Frusciante, but what's that other guy's name? The one that was with Carmen Electra. Who am I thinking of? Jane's Addiction guy. Anyway, they were the guitarists on that show, on that song.
Look at
Midtown saying 11-11. Make a wish. Atlanta Sports set curse Dave Cooley after that song. Oh my goodness.
Look at that. Seems to be bothering you. Seems to be bothering you and not anyone else, but take a few deep breaths.
What's bothering me?
I think you could say wanting to kill the grito. I don't know. I'm just reading everything in the Dave Navarro is what they were saying when you were acting.
Dave Navarro is the guitarist that we're talking about. Thank you, Spear County Social Apparel, for that.
Analyst Joe is acting like he's listening to Mike. I'm listening to Mike. I just couldn't remember the name of the guy. I know what he looks like. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I saw the eyeliner and everything.
The eyeliner, yeah.
Hey, Willie Nelson announced that he's going to be making a tour stop in New Braunfels this spring. Fantastic.
Really? Well, 90-something years old, isn't he?
I'm gonna throw this out there, Joe. Would you buy tickets to go see somebody who's 90 years old?
The brother can still sing. Why not, man?
Dude, okay. What are the odds? He's 91, Joe.
Oh,
I am buying tickets 6 months in advance to see a 91-year-old man. That refund policy better be ironclad, dude.
Look at that $2 super chat incoming from the Drew Show. He says Alanis Morissette is the OG Hawk Tuo girl. Grito. He's paying for the grito, Mike. So we're gonna do it. He's a paying customer, man. I know how much you love that part right there when he goes off. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Okay, I don't mind it for like the first 5 seconds. It's the tail end of that whole thing.
I have to let him do the ooh, ooh, ooh. That's what tells the grito, man.
All right, so I'm already making the announcement that I want to go to the Spurs game tonight. Anyone wants to go with, DM me. We'll figure this out, man. We'll get in the same section or whatnot. I don't care if I'm in the cheap seats. I don't care if I'm down low. I can play it bougie or I can play it up at level 225. I don't care.
Look at Sean. Maybe you should take Sean so you can enter the circle of friendship once again.
I did invite him. Guess what he said?
No.
I have to work.
He's big timing you, man.
Yeah.
He's still mad.
So am I going to jinx the Spurs tonight and say the Spurs go 500?
Every time you go to a game, the Spurs lose, Mike. So I think the Spurs are going to lose if you go.
Well, I think every time I go, the Spurs lose is because the past few years they've sucked ass.
Look at Mario Cavasso says, effing beautiful, man. The grito. Oh, man.
We have another request for the grito, this time from Chris Leja. Says another grito for his wife's birthday, $4.99. Happy birthday, Mrs. Diamond Hard Concrete.
Yep, we got to go ahead and play the grito
one more time.
Presumir a mis amigos les conté.
Mrs. Leja gets the full grito on that one, man.
Grito, dude.
It's a lot more palatable when you have it in front of Market Square. And was that La Margarita, whatever that is right there? That's good times. That's good times.
MJ gonna still sit at 200. Damn.
I don't care. I don't care where I sit.
Hey, but that's not a bad move, though. Instead of paying like a premium price for the ticket, if you start off in the cheap seats and then last second you check SeatGeek, $12, boom.
Boom, dude.
That's a good upgrade.
It was a significant upgrade, dude. But right now, just look at it right now because I'm going to go to the game without any tickets. I'm gonna get there and see the prices go down because again, it's a midweek game. It's a Wednesday game. It's a 7:00 tip off. It's one of those things where you've got a team that's not that good coming in. Why not make it so?
Look at this. The Spurs Nostradamus only lasted a week.
Oh no. I've been good about the Spurs predictions about the Spurs, right? So I'm gonna say that the Spurs win this game. Let's go. I think this will be a high scoring game. I'm gonna say the Spurs win this game 117 to 114.
That's
go to 500. 117, 114. Who you got tonight, Joe?
I would like to say the Spurs, man. I want to go ahead and get them, but I think it's going to be a very close game. I think they might win by maybe a point or two, but I think the Spurs will pull it out.
Tomorrow, I hope that we discuss the NBA rookie ladder. Again, we're going to need to have a guest host on Friday. So I don't know if we're going to have Spernandez, if we're going to have John Dyer, somebody coming on in. We do have John Dyer is going to be in the studio with us, be joining me here on Friday. I already reached out to him, so it's set. And look at that. Sam Salinas says he doesn't like that shit at the end of the grito. It's annoying. Well, we got paying customers that like it, so we're going to keep doing it. And look at that. Got another $1.99 super chat from Tony Ornales. Says, play Hump Diddy Hump for Happy Hump Day. All right, stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. Look funny. No, I won't go through it all. But you're all making money, see? So now. Very nice. Let's get karaoke song.
I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny. But yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, I hope you're ready for me.
There you go.
I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground. Tupac was all over that.
Look at that, Sean B. We beat the Celtics and lose to the Wizards. Facts, bro.
No, man, because Derek White would go off on us. Not at all.
And look at this, Jesse. That guy was like 30 years old at the time of that grito. Ooh, look at that. Leha, I'm going to have my wife hit the grito later. No.
Hey, man. Just make sure she's going, ooh, ooh, ooh. How's that go at the end?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Bring back the Mike Mitchell. The real
Mike. Yeah. Nice.
Hey, we need to get him back on the show. I did like him. He was a good guest.
Reciting like a true thespian.
Look at that. Jimenez needs to do the Humpty at karaoke.
I've done it before.
What's that other song you did at the karaoke? Was it the Backstreet Boys or what was it? Or NSYNC? You were singing it with Pledger? You and Pledger got drunk one time and you were doing some boy band song.
No, I don't think I've done a boy band song with Pledger. I did a God, this was like boy band stuff. I've never done like a Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or anything like that. No, nothing comes to mind. It was
Boys to Men or something that you all were singing.
Boys to Men, I've probably done, but the like NSYNC 98 Degrees have not done. So you kind of got me on that one, though.
Ooh, 98 Degrees. I'd like to see you do some karaoke to that, dude.
Oh, God must have spent a little more time.
Oh, no. What's the other one? Color Me Bad.
I've done Color Me Bad. I've done Color Me Bad, man. I even did the Spanish part of I Adore Me More.
What was that? Spanish Fly, right? That's the song. Spanish Fly by Color Me Bad, dude. Nice. Look at that. We got
another super chat coming on in. $5.47. Is there something about the $5.47? Is there like some symbolism?
547. I don't know, man. It probably is.
Okay. I got to look that up. It says the Latino takeover of the United States, the United Nation is inevitable. Non-Hispanic whites don't make babies. It will be Grito Nation forever. Grito, please.
Man, another Grito.
He wants overtime.
Hey, do the. You know what's funny though, because everybody's like, "I don't like the grito." Mike's like, "I don't like the grito," and now
it makes money.
Everybody's wanting the grito, dude, just because you said you didn't like it. Look at that. We got a request here. Bear County Social Apparel says Ricky Martin, "Living La Vida Loca." That's when you should sing at karaoke.
Living La Vida Loca. Maybe.
Oh, look at this. Mario Cavazos wants to know. This turned into a Q&A session. Mike, is there possibly any Mexican song you know the lyrics to?
Probably like 10 Selena songs. I mean, that's the most that I could get.
Mike loves Enrique Iglesias.
He's not bad, dude. Enrique Iglesias has been with Ana Kournikova for like 20 years, man. He got a great get.
Man, he been with her this long. They're gonna stay together forever now.
I know, man. And she was hot, dude. Kournikova back in the day was beautiful. Still is, by the way.
Look at this. Mexican Junior says, one day just make the whole show the grito on repeat. On repeat.
See how many views we get.
Look at that. Grito man looks like he smokes 2 packs of Camels a day. And he's still out there doing his thing, man.
He's a Newport guy. Sings a PM Dawn. Sam Salinas going down with Set Adrift on Memory Bliss. Come on, man. I know that.
I don't know if you could sing it, though. That's a hard song to sing.
Oh, yeah. You also need 2 people.
Yeah. So Mike likes that Puerto Rican shit. Hates Mexican music.
Fuck Bad Bunny.
Oh, that reggaeton.
Girls dance to it, though, man. The girls dance to it.
Mike will be out there.
What does Chris Rock say? If the beat's all right, she'll dance all night.
There you go. Hey, man, we're coming close to the end of the show, Mike. Anything here in closing?
Oh, man, Spurs are going to win tonight, 117, 114. I'll be out there. DM me if you're going to be out there if you want to go get a drink at halftime. I'm saying 80% chance of me going to the game because I got nothing better to do.
And there you go. If you do decide to go out there, you should have let me know. I got some stickers. Maybe you can hand out to some people.
Nice. Make that happen.
Yeah, just stop by the house or something. I got a whole sleeve here of stickers you can just give out if you see anybody you run into that wants to take a picture. There you go.
Very nice. Let's make it happen. All right, fellas. Everyone have a fantastic Wednesday. Go Spurs, go. Make it 500 tonight.
Go Spurs, go. We'll see you boys tomorrow. We're out. Peace.